now call the November 15, 2021 City Council meeting to order. Would you please stand with me while we have a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance? I would like to invite, Troop 763 from Chapel Hills Presbyterian Church to come on up. If you guys want to come on up in front of the podium here. And we'll do a moment of silence, and then when I turn to you, then we can go ahead and you guys can lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance if you would. Come on up and join. All right, so we'll do a moment of silence if we will.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. If you want to be seated. I want to welcome those that are here tonight and those that are watching us on our TV, cable channel, and our website. It is nice to see smiling faces, both up here and out there. So I really like that fact we're actually doing the meeting that way. Like to get a confirmation of our quorum.
Council members Kaler.
I'm present.
Levisay.
Here.
Fowler.
Present.
Erickson.
Present.
Culpepper. Present. And Mayor Pro Tem Edmondson.
Present.
We have a quorum.
All right, and for those of you who are interested, I am Ken Edmondson, the Mayor Pro Tem, covering from Carson Ross. He had some emergencies in his family last week and has taken off some time, and that's why I'm in this position today. All right, so to my right page here. All right, we're coming to the consent agenda. I'm asking for a motion to confirm our consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All right. Roll call, please.
Council members Kaler.
Reluctant, aye.
Levisay.
Aye.
Fowler.
Aye.
Erickson.
Aye.
Culpepper. Aye. Mayor Pro Tem Edmondson.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next, I need a motion to continue the public hearing for the rezoning and planning development concept plan for Chapman Ridge second phase to the December 6th meeting.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Okay, proceed with a roll call.
Council members Levisay.
Aye.
Fowler.
Aye.
Erickson.
Aye.
Culpepper. Aye. Kaler.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Edmondson.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And then also, I'm needing a motion to continue the public hearing for the rezoning and planning and development concept plan for the retreats at Chapman Farms to the December 6th meeting.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Council members Fowler.
Aye.
Erickson.
Aye.
Culpepper. Aye. Kaler.
Aye.
Levisay.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Edmondson.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Okay, so we move on to the introduction and reading of Bill number 4923, approving the final plat for Cambridge Park, first plat. Who would like to introduce it?
I'll introduce, Your Honor.
Thank you.
First reading of Bill number 4923, an ordinance approving the final plat for Cambridge Park, first plat.
Your Honor, move the bill be approved on its first reading and proceed with the second.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Rob?
Yeah, I want to discuss this one a little bit more. We haven't really seen too much about it, and I just had some questions for staff on this.
Proceed.
Yes, you had that, yeah, that right there.
Yes.
So could you point out this first plat?
Yeah, the first plat is highlighted in purple right here. This is Major Road. This is Adamsdale Parkway and 7 Highway over here. The first plat is on the east side of the subdivision, and the first plat corresponds to the first phase of the development.
Okay, and then I see the second plat there as well. It's shaded a different color.
Yes, it is. That's correct. That would be the second phase of the project. The different colors are denoting down here that purple is approved, under construction, and pink means approved future development. So the first plat, that first phase has been constructed in terms of the infrastructure, the water lines, the sewer lines, and the roadways, and the final plat is just formally accepting those right-of-way easements and creating those lots. And then the second phase, which would be the second plat, will occur at a later time.
So, I guess the square footage of the housing on these, this I think is like the 1,400 square foot and above?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, how about the second phase of this, the second plat? Do you know what that's going to be at?
That's going to be the same as the first. They're both the first and the second plats are consistent with the approved PD concept plan, or PRO concept plan actually on this, which was the 1,400. So it's going to be the same houses, the same minimum house size, all the same lot standards between the first two.
It looked like there was going to be more houses in the second. I agree, maybe there's larger square footage over there, more acres.
That might be the case. Do you remember, Matt? I believe the overall property is 60 acres, and the first plat covers, bear with me here for a second. So, yeah, so it covers 76 out of the 182 lots.
Okay. And
So
then the type of housing going in there, we mentioned 16 or 1,400 square foot, I think it was. What about basements? Are these all planned with basements, or the concept of what we see so far?
The architecture that's been proposed and approved by the Planning Commission as part of the PD final plan, which covers both the first and second phases. We did the final plan that cover all of it, which includes the housing, the architecture, but also the amenities, the parks, the trails, and all that. That shows a mix of single-story and two-story houses, some of which do have basements. Not all of them have basements. Some of them will propose to be slab on grade, but there are some that do show basements.
Okay. All right, that's all the questions I have for now, unless somebody else has any.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Opposed?
You have one?
I didn't vote, I'm sorry, I'm opposed.
Oh, okay.
That was,
That's two. Anybody else opposing?
I'm sorry, was that opposed or abstained?
Opposed?
He opposed, okay.
So we have 2 noes and the rest yes. Okay, second reading.
Second reading of bill number 4923, an ordinance approving the final plat for Cambridge Park first plat.
Your Honor, move the bill be approved on a second reading and assign the appropriate ordinance number.
Second.
Second.
Okay, roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Erickson,
no.
Culpepper,
No.
Kaler,
Yes.
Levisay,
Aye.
Fowler,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Edmondson.
Aye. Okay, next we have introduction.
Hold
You
on,
got
sorry.
it?
Motion carried with a 4-2 vote and given ordinance number 5060.
Sorry, I rushed it.
No, you're good.
Next, we have introduction and reading of Bill Number 4924, amending the city council boundaries to correct the mapping and district boundaries descriptions discrepancy. And who would like to introduce that?
I'll introduce.
Thank you.
First reading of bill number 4924, an ordinance amending the city council district boundaries of the city of Blue Springs, Missouri to correct a map and boundary description discrepancy.
Your Honor, move the bill be approved on its first reading and proceed with the second.
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 Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Hearing none.
Second reading of bill number 4924, an ordinance amending the city council district boundaries of the city of Blue Springs, Missouri to correct a map and boundary description discrepancy.
Your Honor, move the bill be approved on its second reading and assign the appropriate ordinance number.
Second.
Second.
A roll call vote, please.
Gonna have a discussion on this one?
Do you want to do discussion?
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Happy to have you do discussion.
Appreciate the time, sir. I just was making sure so everybody will know it's not really any difference. It was the ADP that made it consistent with District 1, and they moved the boundaries from the east side to the west side.
True.
Is that correct?
Yes.
So I just wanted to make sure that was on the record. Everybody knew that.
So you just gained more asphalt is what you had gained over there. Okay.
Snow plowing.
It's not a somewhat related question. I think the staff notes a while back said that the residents that are changing their district got a letter on that. Has that occurred? Or is it going to?
It's either in the mail or will be in the mail this week.
Okay, all right. So that'll be good to let them know. I appreciate you doing that.
No guarantee they'll have it right away with the post office. My opinion on that one. So roll call vote, please.
Council members Culpepper,
Aye.
Kaler,
Aye.
Levesey,
Aye.
Fowler,
Aye.
Erickson,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Edmondson.
Aye.
Motion carried unanimously and given ordinance number 5061.
And then next, we have the introduction and reading of Bill 4925, amending Section 105.06. Am I on the same page you are?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's in the code and reflects the new city districts. Who would like to introduce this?
I'll introduce.
First reading of bill number 4925, an ordinance amending Article 2, City Districts, Section 105.060, City Districts Established Boundaries of the Code of Ordinances, City of Blue Springs, Missouri, to reflect new city districts established by ordinance number 5057.
Your Honor, move the bill be approved on its first reading and proceed with the second.
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 Okay. Any discussion on this? Seeing none. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Looks like the motion carried.
Second reading of bill number 4925, an ordinance amending Article 2, City Districts, Section 105.060, City Districts Established Boundaries of the Code of Ordinances, City of Blue Springs, Missouri, to reflect any new city districts established by ordinance number 5057.
Your Honor, move the bill be approved on its second reading and assign the appropriate ordinance number.
Second.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Council members Kaler,
Aye.
Levesey,
Aye.
Fowler,
Aye.
Erickson,
Aye.
Culpepper,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Edmondson.
Aye.
Carried unanimously and given ordinance number 5062.
Next, we have a presentation from Melinda Cheney, I believe it is, on behalf of CJC EMA on the outdoor warning system.
All
And
right.
I hope I
good
got your
evening,
name right.
Melinda Cheney. Yes, sir. So good evening, everyone. Melinda Cheney. I'm the Assistant Director of Emergency Management for Central Jackson County Emergency Management Agency. I just began my role here in August of this year, and so I'm trying to get out there and meet all the different areas of the community. So I'm kind of getting out there to visit the schools and businesses around town. So I'd like to take just a moment here to kind of introduce myself and my background, and then go right into the sirens. So my background is in disaster mitigation and planning from the United States Air Force. I served 6 years of active duty, and I'm working on 11 plus years with the Missouri Air National Guard. I'm an aerospace medical service craftsman, which is a fancy term for a flight medic. And I'm a search and extraction section chief, so I'm in charge of those responders who go downrange and kind of pull victims out of disaster collapse structures. I'm a master sergeant with the airlift wing up there, a member of the Missouri Homeland Response Force. We respond to disasters, both natural and man-made. I have my bachelor's degree in crisis and disaster management from UCM, and I most recently was employed at Children's Mercy with the critical care transport team. So I'm working on my master's degree, and started with CJC in August. So there's a picture of my military family that I've been with for the last 17 years, and there's kind of our footprint of kind of what we do when we go out and deploy to CBRN events and rescue people, and that's kind of our hospital there. We set up a decon line and take care of our victims. And this is me on the helicopter at Children's Mercy, dealing with disasters come in different forms, and so I have a strong background in mitigation and dealing with tragedies of all kinds, all natures. So And then this is my family. So I've been married for 9 years. I have 3 kiddos. I have twins who are 6 in first grade, and then my daughter right there is she'll be 3 next month. So that's kind of where I am, my background, and kind of where I'm coming from. And I'm excited to be at CJC and working with the different entities and kind of helping mitigate disasters around town. So as you know, CJC is a cooperative. We're between Blue Springs, Grand Valley, Lake Tapawingo, and the unincorporated portions of Jackson County. We're made up of emergency management director, the fire chief, Chief Lair, and assistant director, that's me. And then we have coordinators from each of these jurisdictions that represent our agency. So we provide the planning, training, and response to the event. Tornadoes, ice storms, hazmat spills, anything that would require mass evacuation. We also involve our partners over at Blue Springs and Grand Valley School Districts, St. Mary's Hospital, and our local law enforcement partners. So we're responsible for the planning and testing of our outdoor warning system, which is up next. And so we have a new install. We have partnered with Federal Signal. They are responsible for supply and maintenance of the actual siren. And then Blue Valley Public Safety is on contract for all the maintenance and work that needs to be done. We have Commander One software that keeps track of all of our sirens 24/7. Every morning it runs a test on the power and communication abilities, and kind of runs an overall diagnostic test, and it's nothing that you can hear. It doesn't make a noise. It does its internal checks, and we get notifications each morning on how that test went. If it comes across anything adverse, it sends an alert to all of our key holders, and those are individuals, representatives from each of those jurisdictions. They're stakeholders. And they have access to this software and can go on and see which siren malfunctioned and why and the reason. And then we can start the process for repairs. So here's a map of our jurisdiction. We have 30 storm sirens in our area. We have kind of split it up to north and south zones using I-70 as the overlap there. And so kind of how this works is as soon as the National Weather Service polygon enters our area, wherever it hits on that red square there, those are the sirens that will be activated. So if it comes in on the south side, the north sirens wouldn't necessarily need to be activated. As long as we're under the warning, though, those key holders, those ones that have access to our Commander One software, are able to continue the warning, continue activation, as long as our jurisdiction remains under that warning. All right, and that's just a picture of this picture right here. It's kind of the dashboard. That's what we see. We can manually start the sirens. We also have our monthly test that we still run every Wednesday at 11 a.m. That test all 30 sirens, and we can get updates and notifications that those sirens did indeed activate or not. So if there's a failure, we will know about it. All right, and this is my contact information if anybody would like it. I'm located over at right off of 40 Highway at the Westerman Training Center. So, does anybody have any questions for me?
Any question? I don't see anything. Thank you for your presentation, and also thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Okay, next we have a presentation about the Land Bank annual report from my tag team partner here, Julia Porter.
Not sure. Oh.
Okay, good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and Council. My name is Julia Porter, and in addition to being the Deputy City Clerk, I serve as the Board Secretary to the Land Bank of Blue Springs. I'm here tonight to present the Land Bank Annual Report for fiscal year starting October of 2020 and ending of September 2021. So first, what is the land bank? So a brief explanation of the land bank is that its purpose is to return non-tax producing land back to the tax rolls. Parcels can end up in the land bank due to unpaid assessments and delinquent taxes. Jackson County does sell these properties at the courthouse steps, and if the properties are not purchased at the annual tax sale, they are then transferred to the land bank. The land bank is made up of 5 commissioners. Currently, there are 4 active members. 2 of those appointed by Mayor Ross, James May, who is our vice chair, and Tracy White Baldridge. 1 school district appointee, Kirk Sampson, who serves as our treasurer, and 1 county appointee, which is James Fairbanks. The land bank is audited as a part of the city's annual audit, and we do prepare financial statements and present those to the board quarterly. So in this fiscal year, we did sell 5 parcels. The total of those purchase price for all 5 parcels was just under $1 million, as you can see, for approximately 94 acres of land. So I'm just going to detail a little bit about each sale. So the first one you can see here was sold to Gap Construction, LLC for $51,705. You may know this as North Villas at Chapman Farms, and it's just under 4 acres in size. The next one here, we actually sold 2 parcels in one transaction to DAK Realty Devco for $375,000. This was just under 30 acres for both parcels, and you may know this as Brookside Estates at Chapman Farms. The next one we have here was sold to Roush Coleman Homes, doing business as Kansas LD LLC. This was for $428,498. This one was a little bit odd. We did do this in 2 parts. The first 20 acres being sold in July of 2020, and the remaining 40 being sold in May of 2021. So this is for the 40 acres, and you may know this development as Cambridge Park. The last transaction here is with Proverbs Holdings. This was actually split off from a much larger parcel, so this is for 20 acres of the previous 95 acre parcel. This was sold for $135,000 and you may know this development as Proverbs Estates. So that leaves the current inventory. We do have 31 properties total. 4 of those are still listed for sale with our realtor Lance Schneider. Of those, 16 are available to neighboring lot owners. So these may be things like survey errors or county parcel splits. And then that leaves a remaining 11 parcels that are listed as not for sale. These parcels, staff has determined, should be kept in the land bank because they're not usable. They may include detention basins, creek areas, or open space. Also something to note on this, the land bank did not acquire any new parcels this fiscal year. That takes us to the South Area Sewer Neighborhood Improvement District. The total unpaid NID assessments on land bank property as of September 30th of this year is just over $2 million. This is a decrease of approximately $560,000 from the previous year. And as a reminder, the sale proceeds of NID properties are transferred to the city sewer fund to pay special assessments previously not collected on the property. And we do currently still have 4 land bank properties located in the NID, and those are the 4 that were listed for sale. Occasionally, the land bank does do other actions not related to the sale of property. One of these is farm lease on several of those larger parcels in the south portion of Blue Springs. This year we did have an existing lease with the Chapmans that ended in 2021, and so we rebid those earlier this year. The Chapmans did win those again. We also had a contract with our realtor that was up earlier this year that we rebid, and it was awarded to Landstill and Schneider again. So the full land bank report is available at landbankbluesprings.com and in the meeting agenda packet. And with that, thank you for your time, and I'll stand for questions.
Any questions from council?
I have two. I probably should have looked this up earlier, but the last question I'll ask first. These 70 tillable acres, is that planted? I mean, is it tilled? Do you know? I mean, I'm just curious.
Jackie might be able to help them with that. So the total acreage and the tillable acreage is what they're farming, is what I understand.
Yeah, they did plant those this year and recently harvested.
Soybeans, probably? I just want to put it out there that if that's what it is, and I don't think there's much market for this, but that's a pretty good deal. It's better than sitting for weeds, but I think that's what, about 9 bushels of soybeans they're paying for the rent. If I had a tractor, I'd love to do it. But my next question is, Proverbs Holdings, I'm going back here in time, and I apologize for this, but when we had the approval of that property for their subdivision, there were some questions about other land, and then we came back and there was some clarification that I understood, put it to rest in my mind, that they were purchasing one other piece of property, or maybe 2 other pieces of property adjacent to that. Is that in the works, or has that not happened, or is that something I'm not supposed to know?
That's okay. So what I can tell you is that these are the properties that closed during this fiscal year. So I don't think we're at liberty to talk about pending contracts at this time. But as far as what's closed, these are the properties that we have closed on.
Okay, that's good. Thanks.
Any other questions? And just a note on my part, Galen, when we did this way back when we lease out that property, that money goes towards improvements in that area? Or is that just the park land?
The park property goes to parks uses. Okay. The land bank property goes back to the land bank.
Goes back to the land bank. Okay, just want to make that clarification. Thank you. Julie, thank you.
Okay.
We'll give you time to come back up here.
Thank you. Put that back up there for you.
Okay, it's time for our visitor section. You up with me now? Mm-hmm. I think we have a couple of visitors requests. Our first one is from Preston Smith. I do not see him. He's not out in the lobby, is he? Okay, I appreciate that. Well, he missed out on a good meeting. It's short. Our next one is, let's see, Tim Shepard. Tim Shepard, are you here? Well, I'm striking out here. Okay. We usually have a visitor's form you need to fill out to get the talk, but if there's someone here that wanted to step up and discuss something or well, something to the council, I welcome you to come up right now. Okay, see none. Thank you. We'll close that visitor session. That leads to announcements and thought to ponder. First off, just to give you an idea, we're 40 days away from Christmas. So you all need to get your shopping done early. But I would like to say that the Mayor's Christmas lighting ceremony is at 6 p.m. and that is on the 30th, isn't it, Jerry? So it's a little bit earlier this year. And it will be at City Hall. We're having one in person, and hopefully Santa comes in person. It should be all squared away. So we invite you to come up. Free hot dogs and I think popcorn and some music, and hear some songs and enjoy the Christmas spirit right after Thanksgiving. So that's that announcement. we go to thoughts to ponder, and what I have is, it's not about what it is, it's about what it can become. And that's from Dr. Seuss. So if we don't have anything else, I will go to our, we have an executive session. I will turn it over to Jackie Summers for that motion.
A motion is in order that this public body go into closed session pursuant to Section 610.021, subparagraphs 1 and 2, revised statutes of Missouri, for the purpose of privileged communications between a governmental body or its representative and legal counsel, including litigation and real estate, and that any minutes, documents, and other records discussed or taken during the closed session remain closed, and that the regular open session of this body stand adjourned at the completion of the executive session.
So moved.
Do you have a second?
Second.
All right. Roll call.
Councilmembers Levesey?
Aye.
Fowler?
Aye.
Erickson?
Aye.
Culpepper?
Aye.
Kaler?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Edmondson?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
All right. We will now convene to the executive conference room for the executive session. Thank you all for coming. Scouts, I really appreciate you being here. Thank you for your participation. You too, Doug.
Hey.